by reason of design, because we don't want to be covered in dust. We don't want our layouts covered in dust. So in the case of Mosquito Creek, my current layout, there's only one window in there. But what I found when I was doing wake hole in the carriage and using thinners without ventilation, you go on a bit of a trip and you have a great time doing it, but you can get a headache afterwards.
Do you remember doing it?
I don't remember much about it, no. The terps you can get now, you can get low odour terps, so probably the way to go. But if you are going to work in a restricted area like that, I'd suggest a mask and a darn good fan. Needle nose pliers, you're probably wondering why the heck would you use needle nose pliers? But never ever throw anything away if you ever go down this path using fake fur. All your offcuts, hang on to them, particularly if they're already tinted, because you could use them where your edges are to merge your grass edges onto roadway, rocks, anything like that. And these things, all you do is just grab a bit of your fake fur that's left over, grab some with these, give it a yank, and you can put them anywhere. There's tufts of grass up against the fence post, or to merge your grass down into what you've roadway, or like I say, rocks, scenery like that. So you don't really need a great many technical tools with it. It's going the wrong way. Okay, advantages. It allows you to cover large areas with grass, paddocks, fields, etc. You can cover a metre with one big sheet, or more. Can be pulled apart, like I said, with the needle nose pliers. It enables you to produce various colours and grass types very easily. Does not require electricity or large amounts of PVA glue, etc., to apply like static glass. Disadvantages: can be messy. When colouring is being applied, that's if you're retrofitting it on your layout, particularly if you've got a backdrop and you want to merge your colours up into your backdrop, you've got to protect your backdrop. It requires a fair amount of trimming with scissors to get the desired effect. You need to do some manipulating and tweaking at the edges to make it look natural. Nothing looks worse than grass that's nice straight edge. So that's why you have tear your other bits out, but merge it. Oil-based, not acrylic colours, can only be applied. A large amount of turpentine is required to thin the paint and spread it through the fibres. You'll go through a fair bit of that. Acrylics and thinners warning. Acrylic paints tend to bind the fibres, as I've said. They hard lumps and the paint dries too quickly for you. Thinner-based paints require the use of large amounts of thinners to dilute the paint and can penetrate the fur to affect the securing glue or the underlying strata. I found this out by accident by using foam underneath my fur, and then use thinners, and the thinners went through, and suddenly you find your hill profile changing.
There might be a way to make it help.
So be careful if you use thinners. Make sure that you've got something solid that's not going to be affected by the thinners. And again, thinners produce very strong fumes, of course, we all know that. And ensure your environment is well ventilated.
You could always use that thinner on the foam bobbers. Look, this layout has a lot of underground mining And now we've got subsidence.
It's in YouTube here.
You'll get holes where you don't want them, I tell you. Okay, these are some of the shots at Mosquito Creek where I've used it like that. This is where the trestle bridge comes up into a cutting, and fake fir grass starts there and runs up through here and up over the other side of the cutting. This bit here is a horse paddock, slightly greener.
Are they kangaroos too?
Sorry?
Are they kangaroos too?
No, there are kangaroos just around the corner.
Future?
Horses.
Trackside, this is the other side of that cutting that you saw in the first photo. It's got a few rabbits in there and that, but the main thing is just the colouring. This here is slightly lighter, and this is more dead. Again, all the grass here is all from the same colour, and that's that golden colour that I purchased in bulk. This is the top end of Mosquito Creek, the township itself, where there's a lighthouse. And this grass here is all fake fir, and there's a small fire that's actually started from embers coming from over this way. Down
So
there.
Bob, how do you prevent fires from starting if you're using fake fir?
Well, I've got a little fireman all over the place layout, and so far they've been quite effective.
So Bob, did you strike a match to make that burnt patch, or did you cut it and colour it?
That was a spot over.
This section here is corner of Anthill Plain, and again it's the dead Australian type grass in the background that sort of makes that particular scene with miniature gum trees to give you the illusion of distance. That scene there is only about 12 inches wide.
It's pretty strong and durable. I'd say if you had a problem with couplers coming off rolling stock, you'd be able to see them pretty.
That one,
That'll be in the, that'll see him in the
I got a bit excited there and it got very blurry. This is the fire scene on Mosquito Creek at Anthill Plain. I've got LEDs and fiberglass optics right through this to give you different effects of glowing embers and fire. And that fire hose actually does turn and it looks like water coming out. But that is fake fir again, trimmed right down and then given the ash effect, just a light wipe over with the white at the edges. It's another one there. It's you can see a bit of the fire there, but still photo it's not flickering like it should be. And the old burned out car. But there you can see how the grass, the dead grass, you can merge and just cut it down short and merge it to make a dead burnt grass. Again, same material, same colour. This section is just underneath where the power lines go across, and longer grass, a little bit more bushy, without being over thick. This bit here is in the Wongal Pong rail yard, but again, small pieces of fake fir create a bit of longer grass growth behind the buffer stop. The white there is not really that prominent, the colouring is not great on that. And again, you can continue it right through into the backdrop. This is a cow paddock and the windmill in the background. Basically a very medium to low grass where the cows have been grazing with cow packs all over the place. And the longer grass going towards the back. Come on. jumping two at a time. You were looking kangaroos.
Yep.
There's some of the wing.
If I had known, I could have used them.
Yeah, that's again exactly the same grass as what you've seen right through. You can see a different colour there again, probably a darker brown and slightly longer in the fur. This is where the ibis are pecking away just here. Again, grass fairly dead. I tend to make most of the grass on the layout fairly dead looking, grey to a brown, a very light brown fawn colour. But where you have trimming by councils and that on the road edge tends to be green. Your growth does come up there. And again, it's great stuff for that, because all you've got to do is just trim very, very close down the road edge, and you can colour that just a little bit different. But you can merge your colours, very, very easily with this stuff. And I don't take claim to be the inventor of this at all. I've only sourced it locally. The American model railroad scene, they've been using this stuff for years, for donkey shows. And very effectively, they market it over there and use it as prairie grass. And I first saw it in the model railroad. And I thought, oh, I'll give that a go. And this was before static grass was even invented and came out.
Does it stand up well, or does it go flat?
No, it does stand up, but unless you get really long fur for a start sometimes. And depending on how much paint you put on too, sometimes that tends to stiffen it a little bit. That's just a road kill scene with some crows picking a dead kangaroo.
There's a kangaroo for you there, Ross.
Yeah, right.
And that's a dead one, Bob. Perfect one for it.
And you can see that's standing up quite well there. But I find that if it does look like it's laying down a bit, I get the vacuum cleaner out and just give it a light run. But you've got to make sure, of course, it's attached to your layout. Otherwise, it'll disappear as well. It's. I would like to, in closing, before I take any question, one is Clinton Hall, who's a teacher, sitting just here, who put this together because my computer skills, as most people who know me, are not great. So he helped me with this, and I acknowledge him for that. And then also, I couldn't send it after we put it together. It just got too big, the folder. And Kevin Frost over here, my other computer expert consultant, gave me a hand to send it out. So I'd like to acknowledge those two people for this. But that's about it. It's cheap, reasonably cheap. Compared to probably for the same area in static grass, it would be cheap. Breaking it up into smaller pieces, you can use it anywhere.
You wouldn't know if they'd have coarser grades of it or anything?
Yeah,
like that?
they do.
They do?
They do, yeah. It's advanced a lot since I first got it. Basically, that's the colour that I've used forever.
What do you want a courser for? You do inch scale. You want to try
Oh, if I'm doing sugar cane,
Yeah, you can get shorter pile, man.
We used to use stuff like that of various lengths when I was doing up car shows and so forth. We do for like the inside of panel vans and and so forth, just as decorative surfaces. So yeah, you're right. It's extremely versatile.
Yeah. But like I said, the Americans.
Do we have any questions for Bob?
Yeah.
How's it go with real fire?
Real far.
I wouldn't try it.
I imagine it would burn. Because it's only material on a cloth base.
Synthetic material.
So I don't think it's fire retardant.
No.
I think it would burn. I've never had open fire near it.
Lots of
Have
smoke.
Yes,
You've had lots of smoke near it. On your layout, lots of smoke.
lots of smoke, yeah.
You've been running some of your logos on there, have you?
No, when the controls are his layout.
Craig's been running his XPT on there, has he? Yeah. But that's because the smoke come out of it.
Can we all thank Bob? Sorry, can we all thank Bob for his presentation,
Yep.
please? Thanks, Bob. Now you're all going to hate me for this. I think quite a few people have seen this, but Paul has asked me to run this presentation again. Who has not seen this planning or layout presentation that I've done? Okay, it's quite a few. All right.
Planning? Planning. Is that what you're meant to do?
Well, that's what they tell me.
No wonder I haven't got anything done now.
That's just getting an idea in your head, Marty, and then just putting it into practice.
Ah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is a presentation I've done a couple of times. It's basically, as it says, for the novice, so there's a few of you that have probably already got your layout going. But anyway, we'll push through. Paul, as I said, Paul's asked me to present this one. So, what is the aim of your layout? So you need to work out first of all what you want to achieve in your layout. You want to mimic a natural prototype scene. You want it to be something that's out of your dreams, whatever you need to do. So that's the first part to do. Are you going to be a collector? Are you of model trains, locos and railway items, or are you just running a layout? Some people just want to run a layout for their grandkids or whatever. Some people, like a lot of us, collect the items and so forth. And Craig's having a laugh. What's up, mate?
I collect couplers.
Okay. It was
All around the layout.
Expertise.
Your layout may be for private use or maybe for public use, like today with Darren. Thank you again, Darren. And others that have give us your your premises for these meetings. So, are you a builder? Builder layout, individual items or both? So, modules or complete layout. Items based on prototypes, as I said before, or simply what comes to mind. So some people just want to, they've got an image in their mind of what they want to do with a layout. Some people want to build an actual model of a particular scene. Be it an era, date-wise, or etc. Do you want to run off sessions on it? Again, some people want to run off sessions where they've got dispatches and drivers and everything else. Others just want to do roundy-roundies to please the grandkids. Again, it's your choice. This is the whole thing with this hobby. There's no wrong reason to build something. It's all what you like to do. As I said, off sessions can be for small groups or like-minded enthusiasts and large groups. How do I know what is the best way? There is no best way. Build what you like. Okay? There's, what you might get comments from some people saying, oh, that's not right, or I don't like that. Show them the door. All right? It's your layout. If they don't like it, they don't have to look at it.
And don't necessarily open it first.
Well, that's it, in the first place, you know. As I said, remember, it's your layout, it's what appeals to you. The bonus is you can enjoy this with other people, family, friends, in gatherings like this. So there's a lot of opportunities not just to be there in there on your own, you can bring other people in to enjoy what you're doing. So where do you start? And it's only limited by your imagination and what's in the back pocket. As we all know, the hobby unfortunately is not cheap. So some samples, this is an area of my layout called Inner West. You'll see a New South Wales theme through all this. For those who don't know, I'm an ex-New South Wales driver, and I was born in New South Wales, hence why I'm modelling New South Wales HO. I have gone, not over here, Victorian people. I have gone to the dark side now, starting to model N scale. I in fact put the first bracket up on the wall yesterday to start my shelf for the N scale.
Welcome to the dark side.
As Bob's already shown, that's a photo of Mosquito Creek. And for those who are renewing their membership for the NMRA in the next 12 months, that's the actual image you'll see on your membership card. So with Bob's permission, I've used that so it shows something that the model does. Duncan Cabassi, it's his layout, it's an N-scale layout based on the UPB and SF. And if anyone's been to his layout, it is huge. So quick note. This is just an appetizer. There's a lot of things to consider when starting a layout, so don't just jump in like I did. I wish now I knew what I know now back 12 years ago. My layout would be so much different to what it is, but that's the way you start. Okay, so things you've got to include: weathering, soldering, electronics, building. When I say building, I'm talking about actual scratch building, buildings or kit building, whatever you want to do. What's that? Oh, sorry. That says, have you registered for these? These are clinics. This was actually a presentation I did at a clinic weekend. That's why the reference to the clinic. So excuse for that. There's a wealth of information available. You can get it from the internet, from shops, from clubs, if anyone is a member of the club, and of course from the NMRA, AR Division 1 or any other part of the NMRA, both worldwide and here. It's not just Queensland, we are worldwide, and we are Australian and New Zealand wide. Okay, what do you have a spare room? Put it in. You got a garage you can use part or whole of. Under a house, some people put a room under a house, they can either dig it out if it's not already got a room under there and put a room in under the house. An existing shed they can convert to a train room, or actually build a shed like I did in my case. I built a purpose shed for it. Craig, PK and a few others have done the same. They built a shed specifically for their layout. So there's many ways you can do, many types of rooms you can use for your layout. The decision's not only a practical one, but what fits with your family as well. Don't forget that if you're using a room or part of a garage or whatever, part of your family may need to use those rooms as well. So keep that in mind when you're choosing where you're going to put your layout. I mean, people put them up above a garage and bring them down. You know, that can cause an issue if someone forgets the layout down and drive in and think they've lost the layout, or the car or both. Okay, sheds. This is an example of a purpose-built shed, in fact mine. For those who have been in there, that's how it looked when I first built it. Not the mess that it is today. So, and that's before anything. It's a Titan shed, built on a concrete slab. It was insulated both ceiling and walls and gyprock. So, as you can see in this photo, I've got a nice air conditioning unit there which keeps the room nice and cool. This is an example of using a garage. This is Duncan's. He has a combination of a shed and a garage. So again, different ways you can use for your layout. Club room. I hope you can see that photo. It's a bit, I'm sorry about light here, people. Club rooms are great because you can get big layouts, you can get very expansive types of things, multi-deck layouts, different styles, different scales, and so forth. So, what is the layout going to be? Important decisions to make. The first one you need to make is what scale. Now, if you're an old bugger like me, scale is too small, even though I've gone to the dark side. But you need to be aware of the size and the scale you're using, because the bigger the scale, the less you can fit into the same room. The smaller the scale, the more you can fit into a room. So that is a consideration. Keep in mind that as you grow older, the eyes fade, and you may not, if you've got end scale, you may not be able to see it, especially if the train keeps coming off the track all the time. He's nodding his head, he knows. Is the layout going to be based on the prototypical location, like I said before? Is it a fictional railway layout? And comes from your imagination. Is the layout going to be, the next consideration is it going to be DC or DCC? If you're very smart and you build your layout, you can actually build it for both. Our club layout, for instance, our HO layout does operate on both. It has it is HO. It has DC and DCC by simply having a switch box. You have two controllers, a DC controller and a DCC controller, and you have a switch box to flip it over. Do not make the mistake, however, of making one track DC and one track DCC, particularly if you've got a crossover. You'll have fun. You'll see little puffs of smoke out of your logo if you do something like that. So it's,
Don't let the smoke out.
don't let the smoke out, exactly right. So my advice is do either or a combination. Don't do a combination of DC and DCC, you'll end up in all kinds of trouble. No matter how careful you are, you'll find there'll be a mistake. Okay, these decisions will determine the size and the complexity of your operation. And the next step, and I call it the most exciting step, I know you guys may or may not think that, time to decide what your layout's going to look like. There are different programs available, ad hoc design, employer designer, that's expensive and he doesn't know what you want. Use published layout design books, that's another way of going. There's many books around that shows different layouts that you can adopt, change or whatever you need to do. Copy someone else's layout. My layout actually is a slight copy of a friend's layout in Sydney. It has changed a bit from what he had, and he's changed his now totally. But that's another way of starting, so you can get ideas from that. But others go down the route of designing as you go. Plonk a bit of track here and add to it, and as it expands out, you've got a layout. That can be good, can be bad, but again, it's up to you. There are design programs you can buy. NMRA, I believe it's still sitting at around $83 a license. It's an excellent program for designing a layout. I have actually used it for my layout at home, and it works out fairly accurately.
You can export it into JMRI.
You can export it exactly into JMRI, which then you can make your panels and so forth, which is the next thing that I'm starting to learn. Great learning curve. Scan is another one you can use. I've not personally used that. There is a free trial for that. Extract CAD is a free version. Again, I use that one, but I believe it's pretty good. And there's many others. You can go down into CAD software now. I'm also a road and railway designer by trade. And I've used AutoCAD throughout most of my design life, so I know AutoCAD inside out and back and front, which is where I designed my layout initially, and then put it into NMRA to verify if it works well. But these two programs, BricsCAD is another version of AutoCAD, but they're not cheap. Licenses will cost you in the range of about $9,000 a year. So they are packages designed for companies to do proper design work. I was actually, in fact, the AutoCAD manager for Brisbane City Council for the last 16 years, and I'm working on it. And so, as I said, I know it inside out and back and front, but it is not a cheap program. It is a grant, so you can get, I didn't say this is a private one, you can use it. But it also has a big learning curve to actually use the program, so you're better off with something like NMRA. Okay, IntelliCAD is another cheap version of AutoCAD, but the same deal, it takes to it. That's an example of NMRA. This is, in fact, my layout in NMRA, how it currently sits. That's a little bit of dabbling I did in Extract CAD. That's my layout again, the same one you just saw, but in BricsCAD. I didn't have the AutoCAD one there. So what's next? Location is sorted, design is sorted, scale is sorted, control method is sorted. Now time to contemplate the construction. Different types of construction. You can do bench work. So people like to build legs with frames and tops. You'll see in a minute my shed will blow away before my benches do. But you can go all different types, and I'll show you some. So you've got bench materials, height of your bench is another important thing to consider. The biggest thing I find with a model railway, you need to look into the layout, like at about a 45-degree angle is a good angle to look at, so you're looking at the down into the layout. If you've got it too high, you're looking this way, and you don't get the full perspective. If it's looking like you're God and you're looking down on Earth. Are you going to have children wanting to see the layout? That will determine the height of your bench work. But if you've got other methods of being able to allow the children to look at your layout, you can put it at a height. I recommend somewhere around between a metre to 1200 is a good height. Again, it would depend on your height as well. That's another factor to look at. Yeah. Okay, so some examples of permanent bench work. You can see here, this is just framework that they used, and they've just used like plywood to form the track bed, and they can undulate and do whatever they like with it. This is my framework. As you can see, it's fairly hefty. And that's how all my benches were made, and then I built a 10mm board on top. So it ain't going to go anywhere. But then again, I can't change it. So there's another thing to think about when you build your layout. Are you going to want to make changes to your layout down the track? Alright, so your layout's taking shape. There's many different ways to approach it. No right or wrong way, as I've mentioned before. It depends on what you want, not what other people want. And if you're happy with the layout, that's all that matters. Okay, some examples. This is now a layout that is unfortunately no longer with us. That was sold just recently to another modeller. But this is Wattle Flat owned by Darren Lee. Everyone knows Darren Lee. It's part of his layout that he's just got sold. Again, Duncan Cabassi's layout just shows you some examples of yard work. Mosquito Creek again, some of the photos that Bob's already shown, different parts of the layout. I'll just point out one thing. You can see all the little sticky bits. They're mangroves. They are actually each individual metal piece that Bob drilled holes for and stuck each piece in individually. That just shows the detail that you can go to if you really want to get, bring a scene to life. My layout at the top and the bottom is the daytime scene. And where from here? Most important, enjoy the hobby. Join a club if you haven't already joined a club. There are many clubs around in Queensland. Join the NMRA, we're all members of the NMRA here, so that's really no. As I said, this is for a presentation for people who are coming in, who are trying to get. So, what will the hobby and personal activity, social outlet and activities, or hobby that can be shared with family and friends? There's some links there. If anyone wants this presentation, I can send it as a PDF. I'm going to try and talk to Paul about getting all these presentations put onto a OneDrive area. So if you want to download them, they'll be PDFs, and you'll be able to download them. Okay. The end, or is it? Your layout will never be finished. Okay. So thank you very much.